Welcome to the broadcast. Anne Wairemu is our sign language interpreter for the night. Now, transport in Migori town, Migori County was paralyzed for the better part of the day as motorists protested over an increase in the price of fuel in the country. Boda operators and public service transport operators barricaded the roads, bringing business to a standstill. This even as Deputy President William Ruto urged the Parliamentary Committee on Energy to summon relevant authorities to address the situation. Andrin Kilemi begins our broadcast tonight.
Motorists in Migori town today protested over high cost of fuel following unprecedented rise of fuel price on Tuesday.
Inatoka hapa Kenya inaenda Tanzania. Ni 90 per liter. Bado inatoka hapa inaenda Uganda. Bei iko chini. Mbona hapa Kenya tunanyanyaswa?
Niko na pikipiki. Sasa hata pikipiki nimeshinda kuenda kwa sababu ya mafuta. Lazima warudishe bei ya mafuta ili watoto wetu wasome vizuri na wanaume wetu wafanye kazi vizuri.
Transport was paralyzed for the better part of the day in Migori town as angry residents barricaded roads, faulting the famous Kenyatta-Raila handshake for the tough economic times.
Kwa hii handshake ya Uhuru Kenyatta na Raila Amolo Odinga, watudushie mafuta chini, tunaumia.
Handshake imetumika sana. Wakati ulikuwa kwa upinzani ulikuwa unatusaidia sana, kama kuna kelele, kama kuna shida ulikuwa unapiga kelele, lakini sasa hiyo handshake imeturudisha nyuma.
Deputy President William Ruto, however, wants the Parliamentary Committee on Energy to summon government officials to address the steep rise in fuel price in the country.
Kamati pia ya bunge ya mambo ya energy waketi chini pamoja na waziri watueleze na waeleze Kenya na watoe advice kwa serikali ili tuchukue hatua ambazo itasaidia wa Kenya kupunguza hali hii ya kuongezeka kwa mafuta ya petroli.
This even as the members of National Assembly's Public Accounts Committee pushed for the resignation of Energy CS Charles Keter for failing to tame the price of fuel in the country.
The President, in his magnanimity, entrusted the energy docket to Honorable Keter, but since then, the industry has been plagued by scandal after scandal.
And instead of spending time to tame the rising fuel prices and the rising energy costs, he spends his time loitering all over the place, distributing wheelbarrows. We want to call him out, and if he's incapable of doing his job, let him resign.
Elsewhere, ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi expressed his dissatisfaction following the upsurge in fuel prices, saying this is burdening the common mwananchi.
Tunajua huo ongezi wa petroli utaongeza bei ya chakula, utaongeza school fees, utaongeza bei ya stima kwa sababu mafuta yanatumika kwa kila kitu.
Currently, super petrol, diesel and kerosene retails at 134 shillings, 115 shillings and 110 shillings per litre respectively. Andrin Kilemi, TV 47.
Well, still on the same, as Kenyans decry the latest increase in fuel prices, it appears you will now have to dig deeper into your pockets, not just to buy fuel, but also basic commodities such as vegetables and beverages. This as the Kenya Revenue Authority prepares for the adjustment of the rate of duty for inflation on the 1st of October this year. This adjustment is expected to impact the cost of all accessible goods and services, but the full pinch of the fuel inflation is expected to come into focus when the Monetary Policy Committee meets later this month to review the benchmark interest rate. Abandoned cars and less busy highways. The ripple effect of Wednesday's increase in fuel prices by 7 shillings and 58 cents for petrol, 7 shillings and 94 cents for diesel, and 12 shillings and 97 cents for kerosene. But Kenyans are set for tougher times ahead as the taxman prepares for adjustment of the rate of duty for inflation on October 1st. The Kenya Revenue Authority says the taxman would adjust the rate of excise duty using 4.97% as the average inflation rate covering the 2020-2021 financial year. However, according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the rate of inflation climbed to 6.57% in August, with the statistics agency revising the July inflation up to 6.55% from 6.44% previously. This small change in inflation rate between the months of July and August has been attributed to the marginal increase in food and energy costs. For instance, the food and non-alcoholic beverages index rose by 0.46%, while housing, water, electricity, and other fuels index jumped by 0.32%. Among the food commodities to have registered higher prices in the past month include spinach, with a kilogram now selling at an average of 67 shillings from 65 shillings in August. However, the adjustment of the inflation rate is expected to impact the cost of all accessible goods and services, which include fuel products, alcoholic beverages, food supplements, fruit juices, bottled water, tobacco products, and motor vehicle imports. But the ravaging effects of the fuel inflation will come into focus when the Monetary Policy Committee meets on the 28th of September to review the benchmark interest rate, which has been at 7% for over a year now. Super petrol is now retailing at 134 shillings and 72 cents per litre in Nairobi, while diesel is retailing at 115 shillings and 60 cents in Nairobi, and kerosene at 110 shillings and 82 cents in Nairobi. The prices are lowest in Mombasa, retailing at 132 shillings, 113 shillings and 108 shillings for super petrol, diesel and kerosene respectively.
Most of these prices of petroleum products, the biggest proportion is actually taxes. Taxes and levies accounts for over 50% of the fuel prices in Kenya. Na kwa hivyo, bei ya mafuta ikiongezeka, sio bei ya mafuta imeongezeka, ni kodi ambayo imeongezeka. There is no crisis in terms of the global oil prices. The global oil prices are the same as last month. It has been stable for the last 6 months. But we have seen perpetually increment of the fuel prices. Every other time the ERC is adjusting the prices. Ni kama tu wamejua ya kwamba bei haiwezi enda chini, kazi yao ni kupeleka juu.
This is the highest increase in the recent past, with the regulator attributing the prices to an increase in the landing costs. Well, let's head over to the corridors of justice, and former Sports Cabinet Secretary Hassan Wario has evaded a 6-year jail term he had been sentenced to by an anti-corruption court after paying a 3.6 million shilling fine in the Rio 2016 Olympic scandal. Team Kenya leader during the Rio Games, Stephen Tsoi, was however sentenced to 12 years in jail with an option of paying a 105 million shilling fine. Dennis Otieno with the details.
3 years after he was charged for graft in the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, former Sports Cabinet Secretary Hassan Wario Thursday afternoon breathed a sigh of relief after paying a fine of 3.6 million shillings to avoid a 6-year jail term he had been sentenced to by an anti-corruption court.
Considering the sentence,
Wario had Wednesday afternoon been found guilty of 3 charges and is said to have granted benefits to 3 people, namely Adan Omar Eno, Richard Abura and Monica Sairo, who travelled using visas issued by the Brazilian embassy and were not part of the Team Kenya delegation.
both the first and the fourth accused were entrusted with leadership to deliver Team Kenya to Rio and to bring good performance. They managed to bring good performance, but in the process, the government of Kenya lost a huge amount of money, and this brought bad image, especially when the story was aired.
According to Chief Magistrate Elizabeth Juma, the misappropriated funds in the scandal have never been recovered and no effort was made towards the recovery, adding that Kenyan taxpayers lost money as a result.
Indeed, as earlier stated, the accused persons did not draw any benefit. As such, the Section 48B will only apply on the loss.
Former National Olympic Committee NOC official and Team Kenya leader during the Rio Games, Stephen Soi, was however sentenced to 12 years in jail with the option of paying a 105 million shillings fine after being found guilty of 6 charges.
An exaggerated budget of almost 600 million, that is 583 million, out of which 500 million was from the government.
Soi is said to have given accreditation to a huge group of Kenyans that the office could not manage. According to the court, some of the people in the list of travelers were not even aware they were supposed to fly to Rio to cheer Team Kenya.
Misuse arose in the manner which the tickets were issued, quickly cancelled, and tickets issued, delegates not informed that they are part of Team Kenya, equally double payments of allowances to the delegates, and as raised by both the prosecution and the defense, of a payment.
Other accused persons in the scandal, including former Sports Principal Secretary Richard Ekai and former Director of Administration at the Sports Ministry Haron Komen, were acquitted of the charges leveled against them due to lack of enough evidence. Dennis Otieno, TV47 Sports.
Well, from the courts here in Nairobi, let's head over to Laikipia. Business operations in Rumuruti town in Laikipia County were today paralyzed for the 3rd day running after 3 more farmers were attacked and seriously injured. Traders closed their shops in solidarity with the farmers who have been protesting illegal grazers. Mike Agwongo with that report.
Tension is still high in Rumuruti, Laikipia County after 2 people, among them a police officer, were injured as conflict between herders and farmers escalated. The protests also affected the popular weekly livestock market as traders and livestock owners kept off and tension heightened in the area.
Ni baina ya Samburu na Wakikuyu, sababu ukiangalia yenyewe hata Wakikuyu hawana ubaya. Lakini sasa shida ni sisi wafugaji vile tunaingisha ng'ombe kwa shamba yenyewe. Na serikali wameshinda kutatua maneno kabisa.
A spot check revealed that only a handful of livestock traders had turned up and hence complained of lack of buyers.
Siku ya kawaida inakuwa mzuri kabisa, tulikuwa tunakaa na amani, hatukuwa na shida yoyote, tulikuwa tunakaa vizuri na tukuuza mifugo yetu, biashara ilikuwa inaendelea. Sasa hata ukiangalia sasa biashara imerudi chini sababu ya mambo ambayo imetokea.
Ukiangalia Rumuruti huku wakati ile mambo ilikuwa mzuri, mifugo ilikuwa mingi sana hapa hivi. Haungeweza kuona mtu. Hapa kungekuwa na mbuzi zaidi ya 1500. Lakini sasa ukiangalia ni mbuzi moja moja na watu wanaogopa pia kuingia hapa kwa soko.
The standoff follows a series of invasions to farmland by illegal grazers who drive their animals and grave in farms.
Wakati Samburu walianza kuingisha ng'ombe kwa mashamba ya watu, furugu ilianza kutoka siku hiyo. Watu walianza kuandamana, wameanza kuchoma mapikipiki.
Residents also complained of several attacks on innocent people by the illegal grazers as they attempted to chase their animals away. The standoff has not only affected business activities in the town, but also revenue collections by the county government of Laikipia.
Ni jambo ambalo of course limetatiza shughuli za biashara. Manake ukiangalia leo ni Alhamisi, ukiangalia huko nje utaona kwamba ile kawaida ya Rumuruti kwamba kuna wanabiashara wengi, siku ya Alhamisi utaona leo ni pengine 10%.
On a normal day during the weekly livestock market, the county government collects approximately 300,000 Kenyan shillings in revenue, while millions of shillings are circulated during the day within the town.
Kwa siku ambayo kidogo tunaweza kupata fedha ndogo, sio chini ya 1,300 kwenda juu. Kwa hivyo imeathiri kwa kiwango kikubwa, kwa sababu sasa kukiwa hakuna soko itakuwa vigumu kuweza kuokota ushuru.
However, the leaders expressed their optimism that this may change for the better, but will be realized if stakeholders embrace dialogue and agree on a ceasefire. Laikipia Governor Derito Mureithi has challenged members of the National Assembly to review the old Trespass Act claiming it had loopholes. He lamented that a person arrested over trespass or found guilty of grazing in people's land is given a linear fine of 500 shillings when taken to court, and hence this could not deter the offenders from repeating the offenses.
Katika mambo hii ya illegal grazing na trespass, fine inakuwa ni duni sana kwa sababu ni shilingi 500. Ingefaa sana wabunge wetu waharakishe kugeuza sheria ile ili kusudi kwamba fine ya wewe kuingia kwa shamba la mwingine ama trespass iwe ni pengine 1,100 ama 1,500, pengine 1,000,000, so that it can be effective. Manake ukisema shilingi 500 kila mtu ataona ni mchezo tu.
A total of 6 people who sustained deep wounds, including a police officer, have been treated at Rumuruti Hospital, while another one has been referred to Nyahururu Hospital for specialized care. For TV47, I'm Mike Kagwongo.
Well, Mike Kagwongo's report takes us to our first commercial break, but coming up, we tell you of a student by day and a night guard by night in Murang'a.
I opted to shift at night so that I could do my classes during the day.
Ability is common in everyone. Those abled differently also have immense ability.
Maybe we are not good in both, but we can be good in life.
They reach beyond the limits in their special, different way.
If the society can just be careful on what they call them and how they refer to them, that would at least be better.
They need to be loved. They have feelings. They would like to give love. It's a natural thing.
Catch their story on Beyond the Limit on TV47 every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
The brain does not exactly know how to differentiate physical pain from the psychological.
Nilikuwa na feel nimefeel hata watoi wangu.
This month, our sisters, mothers and friends share their heartfelt stories of the pain and struggles with Joy Irongo.
We are all about being authentic and sharing our lifetime experiences to speak hope and empower a woman who's probably going through a rough patch.
Join us as we unravel the heartache.
So the doctor told me she has only 2 weeks to live.
Mimi nilikaa tu miezi 2 tu nikiwa na furaha kwa ndoa.
Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Are you looking to buy a home? Or are you looking to build one, yet you don't know where to start? Well, The Realtor is your home of real estate development information, whether you are looking to invest in the city or outside the city. We link you with the experts in the field, be it designing.
We have also a very nice lighting and then gypsum decoration on the top of the ceiling.
Roofing.
When you involve a professional in your construction, there is a difference. Project that has been delivered by a professional person and a project that has not been delivered by a professional person.
Interiors.
We are trying to go is for a mix of European and Middle Eastern look.
Everything all under one roof. Join us every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m.
Any waste stream in our society can be turned into a revenue stream. Basically, turning lemons to lemonade. It could be a restaurant, animation industry, artistry, or even fitness. Just like the sweet and sour taste of lemons, businesses have their highs and their lows. Join me, Violet Njoki, on the grind as business entrepreneurs tell us the tales of their business every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
Our version of
You're watching TV 47 News tonight. Keep talking to us. 22047 is our SMS line. You can also find us on social media at TV47 Kenya on Facebook, as well as at TV47K on Twitter. The hashtag to use is TV47 News Tonight. Now, Deputy President William Ruto says he is ready for reconciliation talks with President Uhuru Kenyatta. This as religious leaders pile pressure on the duo to set aside their political differences for the good of the country. Paul Kirobi with that report.
With less than 11 months to go to the next general elections, Deputy President William Ruto now says he is open to engage in reconciliation talks with President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Askofu wamesema wanataka kuniweka pamoja na rais. Mimi niko asubuhi na mapema bila condition. Kwa sababu mimi namheshimu rais. Yeye ni mdosi wangu. Kuna watu tu wakora wamekuja hapo wakaweka fitina mingi. Mpaka wakasemekana huyu Deputy President uweke kando, sijui nini. Lakini mimi niko ready. Without condition, any moment, kwa sababu tulichaguliwa pamoja na Wakenya.
However, it is alleged Ruto allies have issued conditions to the president before any talks can be initiated. The second in command has been on the receiving end and is accused of derailing President Kenyatta's second term in office by starting early campaigns and allegedly failing to assist the head of state deliver his manifesto to Kenyans.
Wale wengine ambao wameleta fitina wangoje tuende kwa uchaguzi. Uwezi kuja kutoea serikali ambayo wewe hukuunda. Ama namna gani? Si waende watafute vile tulienda kutafuta. Na watatukuta huko tukitafuta pia.
This as the DP allies defended him over accusations of disrespecting the president.
I have never heard Deputy President William Ruto talking anything bad about the president or akikemea mkubwa yake rais. But because we live in Kenya, we have seen a concerted effort of this regime and this government through the CSs, through other government functionaries, trying to outdo each other in terms of who is going to humiliate the deputy president the more.
According to Ruto, he has never disrespected the head of state and that President Kenyatta remains his boss.
People know what happens when you disagree with each other in developed civilized democracies, what people do, And I would hope that people would have the courage and the guts to do that instead of, like I'm saying, throwing stones in the same house that you're living in.
They're already creating anxiety among the people and have potential to ignite political violence if not addressed with immediate effect.
Meanwhile, religious leaders now say they are ready to initiate reconciliation talks between the duo to ensure they work together ahead of next year's general elections. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Well, thank you, Paul Kirobi, for that report. Let's now take a reverse gear to Laikipia County. Tiati Member of Parliament William Kamket has been released on an 800,000 cash bail by Nakuru Court. This is after Chief Magistrate Elizabeth Sui declined an application by the prosecution to detain him for a few more days. The court said the state had failed to provide compelling reasons to detain the embattled legislator linked with the unrest in Laikipia County. However, Kamket has been restricted from stepping foot in Amaya area in Baringo County as well as Olmoran area in Laikipia until the matter is fully heard and determined. The case will be mentioned on the 4th of October.
Ya shilingi milioni moja na mtu mmoja wa kumsimamia ama pesa taslimu ya shilingi 800,000. Ataenda katika sehemu ya Laikipia, Olmoran ama Amaya kule Tiati pasipokuwa na ruhusa ya yule ambaye ndiye mchunguzi wa kesi hii. Sisi tumefurahi kwa sababu ya uamuzi huu. Tumefurahi kwamba William Kasaid Kamket atafanya kesi yake akiwa nje.
Well, Chief Justice Martha Koome now says clearing the backlog of cases within the corridors of justice is top on her to-do list as she unveiled her decade-long vision for the judiciary today. Speaking at the Supreme Court, Koome said that no case will be allowed to drag in a trial court for more than 3 years, while no appeal will exceed a year at the appellate court. David Mudoka reports on the judiciary's roadmap.
100 days into the helm of the judiciary, and with all eyes on her to chart the way forward for the crucial arm of the government, Chief Justice Martha Koome on Thursday unveiled her vision for the judiciary, which had been in the works since her swearing-in on 21st May this year. Themed social transformation through access to justice, the 10-year-long roadmap is set to prioritize boosting 5 key areas within the judiciary, including the independence and accessibility of judicial services, staffing within the judiciary, financial mechanisms, partnerships, as well as public trust and confidence in the judicial system. With the launch of the roadmap coming against the backdrop of a backlog of cases within the corridors of justice, Koome has revealed that with the implementation of the vision, the wheels of justice will turn faster than before, owing to the ultimatums contained therein.
A no-court case should be dragging in judicial corridors for more than 3 years in a trial court and 1 year in an appellate court.
Koome further stated that the realization of the roadmap is pegged on the improvement of court infrastructure, citing the need to set up more courts in far-flung regions, as well as the establishment of a state-of-the-art judiciary headquarters.
We are all squeezed and sitting nearly on one another in this building, which was built in 1935. The Constitution of Kenya gave us the Supreme Court, but we have not built a home for the Supreme Court.
This, as the Chief Justice noted that technology will also be a key cog in her decade-long journey at the apex of the judiciary.
Our aim is to continue to improve our service delivery and to continue embracing and improving on technology as an enabler in ensuring access to justice.
Meanwhile, various courts were fitted during the launch that also saw Koome unveil a report on the performance of courts in the country between 2019 and 2020.
The best performing high court stations in different categories were Makueni, Milimani Civil Division, Nakuru High Court.
The review of the fitted courts is set to form the basis of Koome's blueprint for the judiciary that will be unveiled in March next year. With the backlog of cases in court proving to be an Achilles heel even for her predecessors, Chief Justice Martha Koome is ostensibly hell-bent on clearing that particular backlog through the unveiling of her vision that is set to be a foundation for her blueprint for the next decade. David Mudhoka, TV47 at the Supreme Court of Kenya, Nairobi.
Well, away from that, presidential hopeful Jimmy Wanjigi has begun his 4-day tour to popularize his presidential bid at the larger Nyanza region. The businessman insists that he is willing to traverse the country to popularize his presidential bid. Wanjigi says he is ready to face ODM boss Raila Odinga to seek the party's ticket.
Democratic Party. I am fearless about that. Fearless. We are going to rock the boat. We are going to invigorate democracy in this party. You have seen other countries have internal party democracy, and there is nothing wrong with it. These are the tenets under which this party was founded. If people are jittery, they must be feeling that I'm going to remove them, or that there is going to be a wave that will sweep them. That is democracy. Let the people decide. That is how it goes. Let the people decide.
Well, exactly 30 minutes past the hour, and it is time to take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with more. Do stay with us.
Ability is common in everyone. Those abled differently also have immense ability.
Maybe we are not good in both, but we can be good in life.
They reach beyond the limits in their special, different way.
If the society can just be careful in what they call them and how they refer to them, that would at least be better.
They need to be loved. They have feelings. They would like to give love. It's a natural thing.
Catch their story on Beyond the Limit on TV 47 every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
The brain does not exactly know how to differentiate physical pain from the psychological.
Nilikuwa na feel nimefeel hata watoi wangu.
This month, our sisters, mothers and friends share their heartfelt stories of the pain and struggles with Joy Irongo.
We are all about being authentic and sharing our lifetime experiences to speak hope and empower a woman who's probably going through a rough patch.
Join us as we unravel the heartache.
So the doctor told me she has only 2 weeks to live.
Mimi nilikaa tu miezi 2 tu nikiwa na furaha kwa ndoa.
Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Are you looking to buy a home? Or are you looking to build one, yet you don't know where to start? Well, The Realtor is your home of real estate development information, whether you are looking to invest in the city or outside the city. We link you with the experts in the field, be it designing.
We have also a very nice lighting and gypsum decoration on the top of the ceiling.
Roofing.
When you involve a professional in your construction, there is a difference. Project that has been delivered by a professional person and a project that has not been delivered by a professional person.
Interiors.
What we are trying to go is for a mix of European and Middle Eastern look.
Everything all under one roof. Join us every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m.
Any waste stream in our society can be turned into a revenue stream. Basically, turning lemons to lemonade. It could be a restaurant, animation industry, artistry, or even fitness. Just like the sweet and sour taste of lemons, businesses have their highs and their lows. Join me, Violet and Jackie, on the grind as business entrepreneurs tell us the tales of their business every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
Watching TV 47 News Tonight. Now, for a majority of campus students, social life is key. They marry and make memories of their youthful activities while in school. But that is not the same for 23-year-old Mary Kinuthia, a fourth-year student of criminology at the Murang'a University of Technology. Mary Kinuthia's journey is out of the ordinary as she juggles between her studies during the day and work as a night guard at night. Mudhoni Maina with that inspiring story.
For many university students, campus life is for making merry and memories. But that is not the case for 23-year-old Mary Kinuthia. Mary is a student by day and a guard at night. This does not seem like a normal job for a woman, leave alone a girl at her age. But Mary is determined to make ends meet. She works as a night guard at the Murang'a Level 5 hospital. But during the day, Mary is a student at the Murang'a Institute of Technology, where she is majoring in criminology and security. In a story of resilience, the 23-year-old juggles through it all so as to sustain herself throughout school.
I decided to join security firms to sustain myself. But when the schools opened, I opted to shift at night so that I could do my classes during the day. That's when I was posted at Murang'a Level 5, working at the gate. And that's where I'm currently located.
We accompanied her to school and later joined her in the evening at her workstation to get a glimpse of how she tinkers with the duties placed on her plate. One after the other, donning the uniform, she would open the gate for the vehicles that need to gain access to the hospital. According to Mary, she faces a challenge managing her study time and working. But according to Mary, time is of the essence. Whenever she is not in class, she takes it as an opportunity to fund her education. And when the night is not so busy, it is also an opportunity to revise her classwork notes from her phone.
This work is managing my time, managing the study time and the time that I'm working. But I find myself doing studies while at the gate. You know, we have notes kwa simu, PDF. So wakati it's not quite busy, that's when you sit to your phone on a study.
The fourth-year student who joined the school in 2017 says her parents were unable to provide extra money for her basic needs, forcing her to look for an alternative way to sustain herself. Her father is a primary school teacher in Nyandarua County, while her mother manages their farm.
I come from a family of 8. We are 3 of us at tertiary levels, and two of my siblings wako high school. So depending on my parents entirely is quite an uphill task. So I chose to support my dad in that.
She says students always question and roll in aisles at her, but it is her confidence and determination that keeps her going. After all, the end justifies the means.
Instead of asking for money from somewhere, I'm comfortable doing it for a while.
After her graduation, she hopes to join an investigative agency and help her parents educate her siblings.
And I'm hoping to join or work with the investigation departments, maybe private or government sectors. I'm quite comfortable with that.
Muthoni Maina, TV47.
Well, the inspiring story of Mary Kinuthia there, learning never stops, and we really wish her all the best. Now, the government will receive the first consignment of Pfizer vaccines tomorrow, and on Saturday, the government will also receive the first consignment of Sinopharm vaccine from China. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has urged Kenyans to get vaccinated and avoid being selective on specific vaccines they intend to be vaccinated with. Kagwe was speaking at the commissioning of renovated research laboratories for biochemical research, a joint venture between Kenya Medical Research Institute, Cambridge, and the United States government.
Period. Because, you know, there's a lot of theory regarding this vaccine is better than the other vaccine. The truth of the matter is that the only reason why people are talking about Johnson is because it's a single shot. It's a single shot vaccine. But it doesn't make it necessarily better than the others. And in terms of efficaciousness, for example, there are some other vaccines that have got a higher efficaciousness as far as we know. So what I would like to urge, when you get a vaccine that has the approval of the World Health Organization, don't wait for another one. Because in the space that you are waiting for another one, something can happen to you. You know, and what we know is that currently in our hospitals, 96% of the people in our hospitals are people who have not been vaccinated, which tells you vaccines work. You know, we have got a few who have got, who are vaccinated and fell sick, but their cases are not very serious. We have lost nobody. So what I would like to urge is forget about which vaccine you want. Think about what vaccine you have, what vaccine is available, and get it as quickly as possible.
Meanwhile, a section of government officials today launched 3 hospitals in Nairobi, including Ngondo Level 3 Hospital in Ruai. While unveiling the project, Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i and the Nairobi Metropolitan Services Secretary General Mohamed Badi affirmed that the launch is part of the 4 goals outlined in President Uhuru Kenyatta's Big 4 agenda on universal healthcare that seeks to provide affordable healthcare for all. Health CS Mutahi Kagwe, who was also in attendance, hailed the launch as a milestone in the health sector and also reminded Kenyans to get vaccinated.
Haya mambo yote ambayo yanafanyika hapa, vile Mheshimiwa Rais ametutuma, hii ni kati ya yule mpango wa rais wa Big 4 kuhakikisha kwamba huduma inaletwa karibu na wananchi. Unaona maendeleo na vile nchi yetu imepanuka, na haya yote yamefanyika kwa sababu tumekuwa na amani.
Tukijenga mjengo kama huu wa hospitali, lazima barabara ziweko, so tutafanya barabara, na barabara haiendi peke yake, lazima itakuwa na sewage na maji, pipe za maji na taa njia yote.
Don't treat this disease what? Don't treat it what? If you treat this disease normally, it will treat you. Hapo tuko pamoja. Kwa hivyo sisi hatutaki mchezo, mnaelewa? Hatutaki mambo ya kucheza na hii, kwa sababu wewe you can get it. If I can get it, tuko pamoja. Kwa hivyo zile kitu nataka mfanye sana sana watu wa miaka 50 kwenda juu ni kupata vaccine.
Well, let's now take a look at what is happening in the world of business. And hundreds of youth representatives drawn from various community-based organizations in Kisumu County are set to benefit from a youth empowerment program dubbed the Business Challenge. James Okoth reports from Kisumu County.
Youth-led organizations drawn from various community-based organizations are set to benefit from a program dubbed the Business Challenge. According to the organizers of the event, the Young Women Christian Association Kisumu branch, the best presenters with the most effective, profitable and sustainable business idea will not only receive funding to actualize their business idea, but also enjoy a mentorship program that will see them enhance and sharpen their entrepreneurial skills.
We're looking forward to reaching more, as many youth groups in this region so that we can see the level of involvement in improving their livelihood go up, and that will be our very biggest happiness when we see them doing better things in the community.
We are telling our youths, instead of being used to throw stones, learn a skill, attend meetings, training meetings, so that you can generate your own money.
The participants, battling it out amongst themselves by presenting their ideas before a panel, one after the other, are hopeful that by the end of the 2-day event, their business ideas will be actualized.
It has been an interactive session, and apart from sharing our ideas with the panelists, we have really gotten also new insights on how we can advance our projects so that they become agents of social change in the community.
Through that meaningful engagement, they'd be able to avoid issues such as drug abuse, crime, violence, and all the other things that people judge them for. So we are grateful for this opportunity, and we're looking forward to the entire community of Kisumu and YWCA to keep holding our hands to keep empowering the youth.
We as young people of Kisumu, we want to work hard through the business pitchings that we get and through the finances that we get in doing entrepreneurship.
The program seeks to empower and engage the youth while countering violence within the community and deterring them from being used as perpetrators of political violence ahead of 2022.
Other than linking them to the opportunities of enhancing their livelihoods, we also thought it would be a wise idea if YWCA would invest some of the funds to make them have the startup processes within the ideas that they have. And hence, this idea that we are launching today.
James Okoth reporting for TV47 from Kisumu County.
Well, from Kisumu City, let's head over to Mombasa. Stakeholders in the maritime industry, in conjunction with the Kenya Ports Authority, held a consultative meeting on how to improve the East Africa maritime trade post-COVID-19. Petronila Goren with that report.
Addressing the media, the Chief Executive Officer of East African Business Council says the maritime business has slightly improved despite the COVID-19 pandemic.
The good news that despite COVID, the port of Mombasa has continued to demonstrate a positive outlook in terms of cargo volume. Generally, the port registered around 34 million tons of cargo, and their anticipation by 2030 they are targeting around 50 million.
However, the chairman of East African Business Council, Nick Nesbitt, reiterated need to improve efficiency in maritime business operations.
We need to ensure that the cargo that comes into East Africa is on digital platforms so that the authorities, the customs authorities, the clearing agents can pre-qualify and pre-clear those containers before they even arrive at the port. And once they are pre-cleared, it means that the customs authority will know how much revenue it's going to earn on every ship. It will mean the owner of the container will know where his container is and how quickly it's coming through. And it will mean that we don't have as much congestion in the ports.
On the other hand, the government is expected to provide support to small and medium enterprises to enhance trade across the East African region.
So what we need to do as a country is provide incentives to manufacturers and people who are adding value to add value. So that means lower costs of electricity. It means less regulation. It means less taxes. It means reduce the taxes to move your goods between counties.
Kuna changamoto mingi katika biashara mingi, tunatoka kwa ni labda policy ama venye serikali inajenga sheria zake na kuangalia za bei za vitu zimepanda. Jana tumeona bei za mafuta zimepanda na mafuta inashikilia kila kitu katika biashara zetu.
Meanwhile, Kenya has been lauded for its maritime security after being lifted from the list of countries in danger of pirating. As stakeholders in the maritime business continue to harmonize various departments for bigger ventures, they say there is hope despite the numerous challenges posed by COVID-19 pandemic. Patronila Goren for TV47 in Mombasa.
Well, the Association of Pension Trustees and Administrators of Kenya, APTAC, has today been launched. The association seeks to provide a multi-stakeholder platform for deliberations, discussions and consultations on prudent trusteeship and administration, as well as make recommendations, if any, to make Retirement Benefits Authority. Its membership comprises of individuals, students studying pension administration and management, administrators and retirement benefit schemes registered under the Retirement Benefits Act, and other interested individuals who qualify to be members.
Trusteeship. The trustees are the owners of the money, of the assets of the, and they are the ones who have fiduciary responsibility to the members. For us to have you as a member, if you are a trustee, you have to be a certified trustee. So you need to get certified. So you can see when I'm home that we are actually linking all these things. The second thing is that if you are a corporate trustee, you've got to be a registered corporate trustee who is compliant. We allow also other stakeholders to be part of us. We call them honorary members. So the other members whom we have apart from trustees and corporate trustees is the student trustees. So if you are undertaking training in student to be a trustee, you qualify to be a student member.
The role of a pension scheme is to give you a safety net on retirement, and that pool of money should actually be a real return, a real pool of money, not eroded by inflation. So over the years of investments, it's important that trustees get real returns over and above the level of inflation, so that they're able to give their members a comfortable retirement. And I think that's the most important thing. But that begins with the process of asset selection and picking assets that can actually give you inflation-beating returns. Derivatives is a market we created to provide protections. We've so far developed future contracts. So if you have exposures in equities, you're able to take a hedge using derivative contracts.
We have the East Africa Pension Supervisors Association in the continent, where RBA is a founding member of Africa Pension Supervisors Forum. The inaugural conference was held here. And we have also gone beyond Africa and looked at what is happening elsewhere in other jurisdictions under the umbrella of International Organization of Pension Supervisors. And part of the responses we've had here as a regulator have been very common with other regulators elsewhere. And so when circumstances like COVID-19 hit I think we are called in to be very innovative in the way we regulate, in the way we supervise, so that things do not stall.
And dairy farmers in Ngusishi, Meru County will now benefit from a milk preservation project initiated by the Italian government. The project will help close an employment gap in the region as it aims to benefit more than 2,400 dairy farmers, hence a call for more people to embrace the practice. Hygiene measures and aluminium milk cans have been introduced, replacing plastic containers, therefore mitigating losses caused by milk spoiling and spillages. Additionally, motorcycles have been dispensed to assist in transporting milk from farmers' homes to collection centers rather than to milk cooperative centers.
A sector for the food industry in Italy, I think pasta, spaghetti, macaroni, is the dairy, is the milk and cheese is the first sector for the food industry in Italy. And so I think that really you have a great room to improve in the production, as I said before. There is a room to increase, maybe also here in Kenya.
Project of cooperation projects are sort of like value chains, where different actors, the donors, the partners, the beneficiaries, the stakeholders, they are together to create an added value. So we always have to ask ourselves, are we creating an added value here because we are using resources, money coming from the citizens?
Na vijana mmeambiwa kama mnataka pesa ya haraka mlishe ng'ombe, because after every 30 days utapata pesa yako. Kama unakamua ng'ombe mbili 40 liters, that's about 48,000 shillings every month, and without fail.
Currently we are paying milk at 42 shillings. The farmer is getting 42. The state is getting 42 shillings. They will spend 3 shillings for the local learning, and the farmers are, we are paying that 43. The farmers are getting 40 shillings.